Alright, it's the official 1-year anniversary of my album Wednesdays on Call, and I thought I would celebrate by sharing a few fun facts, behind the scenes tidbits about each song. So no faff, let's get straight into it, starting off with Paper People. So this is actually my most listened to song overall on Spotify, Apple Music, etc. And understandably, it's a very mellow, chill, idyllic kind of song. It was a song that actually took me only 30 minutes to write. I remember coming home from placement, sitting down, getting my guitar out, composing, and I was done. And it was a very rare songwriting moment where the first draft is the final version you hear today. It was also actually the only song that I've been able to show the patient to that it was inspired by. So shout out to Bed 14, you know who you are. Also, at the end of the song and during the second pre-chorus, there are pages of a book being flipped, which sounds like this. And that book is actually this one. Have any of you read it? As much as I love all the songs on my album, this one definitely takes my heart. This is Release Me.
But the roses have only begun to unfold, and you were smoking up my mind, a hazard to my
I love this song. I've posted about this before, that this song is actually an entire metaphor for my toxic relationship with medicine, that despite all the burnouts, the fatigue, the breakdowns, I just can't help myself from going back to it because I just am addicted and I love medicine so much. Anyway, during the recording session, I found myself getting really frustrated because I just wasn't getting that lovely, mellow, delicious low register in my voice that I wanted in the pre-chorus. And no matter how many takes I wasn't satisfied, the ambiance just wasn't happening. So to make it to sound really sultry, I got very intimate with the microphone, very close to it. I was huddled under my duvet. I got my iPad and I propped it up in front of me, and I have a secret Pinterest board, which I put up, which contained pins of a particular muse. If you know me, you know who it is. Saved a lot of pins, and I had that propped up in front of me to visualize whilst I was singing, and boom, got the takes. I'm off duty. So As Long As I Breathe is a very powerful song that was born out of pure, raw frustration. It was during the pandemic. I was back in Bangkok, stuck, unsure what my future was going to hold. And it was, as I've said before, sort of a Trojan horse of emotions that just snuck into all of our lives and unleashed all these feelings of desperation, guilt, panic, determination, and just melancholy. Not only was it a massive physical battle of labor of the body against illness, but also a massive, massive mental one that we were all suffering from. And I humanized the illness in the song by using metaphors of breathing, since that is the predominant symptom that we find in COVID. And actually there's a little bit of a sneaky double meaning, which was an open letter to certain political figures who reacted far, far, far too slowly to the situation. So I was just very frustrated and angry. It took me months to come up with the bridge. I don't know why it took me so long. I think my brain was just so crispy fried by then. My reference track and my inspiration for the bridge, and I guess the song premise itself, was Euphoria, the Dejsupa remix by Jungkook of BTS, and Neko Jarashi by Radwimps, the orchestral version. Anyway, out of all the songs on the album, this is most certainly the most emotional one for me, because it's just so darn explicit. I remember recording the bridge several times because I could not stop myself from tearing up.
I didn't know struggling would taste like the ocean side.
There's this one part in the song where I say, but the addiction is powerful and the popcorn is delicious.
Popcorn's delicious.
And the point of that line was I wanted it to be this very dark sarcasm of the situation, this tragic irony of saying something's delicious when we're talking about a situation of someone who's bulimic and has a very difficult, strained relationship with food, and we all know how it's going to turn out. I wanted to convey that in that word delicious. I wanted people to hear the sarcasm, kind of the playful smile as I said the word, and all these emotions through that one word. And so I was recording the word delicious, 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 delicious. Finally came up with this one, delicious. But that one single word, I can't even tell you how many takes it took. We got there, but kind of forgot how to spell the word after that. And actually the outro for this song, in which I say, spring is here, the winter snow melts away, the sun is brighter and my heart feels warmer and I think I'm starting to feel okay. That was actually inspired by a scene in Fruits Basket, which is an incredible anime. If you haven't watched it, please go and watch it. The soundtrack is originally by Masaru Yokoyama, and there's a scene where the soundtrack called Spring Will Come When the Snow Melts Away plays, and it captured such a beautiful feeling in that moment in which you can finally feel and see hope. And that was what I wanted to embody in the outro of this song after everything that this patient has gone through. Okay, now we've got Bonsai. I think Bonsai is the only song on my album that has a drum kit in it.
Gambling with these lives to seventh heaven. 'Cause I've got a few glitches.
So this song, I really wanted to capture nuances. I wanted to capture POVs specifically of patients, because we only have subjectively what we know, what we've learned in textbooks, our own experiences. How are we someone to judge someone for how they're feeling if you've never felt that way before? And so with this patient here, the 16-year-old boy who thought the world was a game and a simulation and that none of us were real, and the only way to beat the game was to take his own life, I wanted to show a different perspective on the fact that he's questioning the world we're in, so why don't we as well? Obviously there's a lot of underlying mental health issues with this boy, and he was going to receive the help that he needed. I wanted to pick upon the little nuances, little tidbits within these mental health issues that you actually find, I kind of get it. And so what I wanted to do was kind of snuggle or encase the song, the lyrics, the instruments, which were all talking about a boy trying to take his own life, in life itself. So I put sound bites of Japan when I was there, specifically Minato Mirai in Yokohama and Ichiran Ramen in Fukuoka. Those are the sound bites that you hear at the beginning and the end, kind of wrapping the song in this story. It's also titled Bonsai because the meaning behind the lyrics is about how you are looking down on a microcosm of a world that you've created, much like a bonsai. And I was inspired by a podcast by Stuff to Blow Your Mind about meditation and comparing it to a bonsai tree in which you prune unwanted thoughts and distractions of day-to-day life the same way that you would prune a bonsai tree to shape and manipulate its direction of growth to make it beautiful or refined in your own eyes. And so that's how the concept of bonsai was born. Sorry, I was getting a little bit stressed because I thought I had deleted the file for Dawn, but I realized that I had just named the folder Interlude, which was actually the working title for the longest time, I think until a day before I released the album. There was supposed to be a 7th song on the album, which didn't quite make the cut. Maybe you'll hear it in the future. But this was going to be the interlude song. However, I decided to make it its own song because it deserves that, with the story behind it as well. And who actually came up with the name Dawn? You can give your thanks to my dad. Do not be fooled by the short duration or the lack of lyrics in this song, because this song took me, not even exaggerating, at least 100 takes. I think it was about 120, 130 takes, and it's a ridiculous amount because, my goodness, trying to minutely manipulate my mouth, my tongue shape, my jaw tension, trying to come up with the right sound because I had no words. So, my gosh, it was difficult. My vision for the song was if I was living in a world in Attack on Titan and I was sitting on the rose wall with my ODM gear on after a weary battle. I'm alive, I've survived, and I'm looking out because dawn is upon us. And that was the image and the imagination. That is a wrap. That is Wednesdays on Call. Thank you for joining me on shift today. But in all honesty, I don't think I can say this enough, and I probably won't be able to, but thank you for listening to my music and supporting me, even if that was just for 10 seconds or 10 minutes. I'm just as grateful I was able to share so many patient stories with you through this music, and I hope they've inspired you as much as they did for me. So keep your eyes open, actually more like your ears open, for new music, because there's new music coming. Stay safe and get your flu shots.